Alright, folks, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are having a good day. Check all my levels. Low. Here we go. Check, check, check. Okay. My kids have been playing in my office, and so they like to turn dials. They like to turn the dials around. That's like their favorite thing. Someone's texted me. Alright. My friend texted me about, like, I'm at this restaurant with my wife and there's these kids here and they don't know how to behave in public. I'm like, yeah. It's no joke. Like, yeah, all the restaurants were, not all of them, but, like, the restaurants were mostly closed for a year. So the kids, they don't really know how to act in restaurants. There's nothing that's, that's not like a typical thing that they encounter. And I've said this before. It's like, if you look at all of human history, going to a restaurant it's pretty anomalous. Like, unless you were like I don't know, someone in ancient Rome, they didn't even have restaurants the way we have them, But, your average person in history didn't really eat at restaurants, and certainly didn't bring their 1-year-old to eat at the pub, together at the pub, Anyway. Oh, thank you for reading the new story. Just read the new story and it makes a good resolution. I'll probably cut an audiobook of it today. What time I have. I got a lot of things on the docket that I want to do content on. But yeah, I'll probably cut an audiobook of that story. It makes a good resolution. It may be a message I needed. 2 is the death cult corrupts some of my last and most beloved franchises. Yeah, we have attachments. That's what it's about. I gotta hear them. You get long hair and then it ends up in your mouth. That's just how it is. All right. Excuse me. I've been having allergies recently. All right. So here's what we're going to talk about first before I hop into playing some Final Fantasy V on the old PlayStation Vita. And what I'm going to quickly talk about, and I might do some separate, like a little separate video on this, or I might cut this up. I want to talk about Burning Crusade Classic, because I was a big supporter and proponent of WoW Classic. I stopped playing WoW Classic for a couple of reasons. First of all, I was really kind of just tired of the company of Blizzard. That's a big one. It's like, you look at it, it's like Blizzard, they're not the company they were when Classic came out. They're not the company they were when Burning Crusade came out in 2007. Gaming Year Ground Zero, 2007. But a lot of people consider the best expansion of the game. But I came back, I played retail when Shadowlands dropped because my friends were playing, and that's pretty much a good reason to play any game. And the truth is, like, even if it's playing D&D or something like that, you have to deal with what you're going to do with other people. Not everybody's like as advanced in thought to think about, like, oh yeah, maybe we should play Dungeons and Dragons AD&D, the original AD&D. And they're like, what? Why would we do that? Here's 5th edition. Clearly it's better because it's 5 editions later. It takes a lot of interaction to wake people up to that. Anyway, Burning Crusade Classic. So here's my recommendation for Burning Crusade Classic. First of all, before I give you a big recommendation, it is being rushed, in my opinion. It's going live. You can walk through the Dark Portal on June 1st. The pre-patch is in 3 days on May 18th, and I believe in that pre-patch you'll be able to roll Draenei and Blood Elves. I don't know why they're doing that. You couldn't roll those ahead of time back when it came out. You had to level from scratch when everybody was walking through the Dark Portal. I don't know why they're allowing that earlier, but it's just a more sign of the times, which is that this is Burning Crusade run by modern Blizzard. This is not Burning Crusade run by Blizzard in 2007. So you're going to get all the things that you should expect to get with modern Blizzard stuff, which is not really trusting their original design. That's part of it. So anyway, that's going on. I would recommend Burning Crusade Classic to people who want to play the Burning Crusade content and have the Burning Crusade gameplay. And I'll give you more info on those if you didn't play Burning Crusade, but with some modern WoW amenities to make it, I guess, easier or more palatable for a modern experience. So that's who I would recommend it for. If you played Burning Crusade back in the day and you already know whether you like the content or not, you'll know whether you want to play or not. There's a couple things that you need to know about Burning Crusade Classic, besides the fact that they, I think, are as far as I know, they're unlocking those races on May 18th, so you can level those ahead of time. You'll be able to take your character from Classic if you played that and move it over to a Classic only realm, meaning it'll never go past 1.12. Or you can keep that character on your current realm and it will progress. It'll go to Burning Crusade. You can just make that decision as to what you want to do. Or this is where stuff gets really, I think, shady, and it's very modern Activision Blizzard. Oh, you want to keep your character that you like farmed out your tier 3 and have that be relevant? Well, it's going to cost $35. I think it's $35 to clone your character. So you can clone your character and put it on a Classic realm, a Classic at 1.12 realm. So you can keep all of your progress relevant. So your progress is relevant. Like, you farmed out your tier 3 or you got, Grand Marshal or High Warlord or something like that. So $35 to continue the adventure in Burning Crusade and not lose your Classic progress, the relevancy of your Classic progress. Like, obviously you could still have your tier 3 in your bank, but what are you going to do with it? So there's that. They are selling mounts because it's Blizzard, so of course there's a cash shop. Yeah, you can pay $70 for the TBC Classic collector's edition pack, which gives you a mount which didn't exist in the game back then that you can ride. That looks basically like a modern WoW mount, and you get a free character boost. So they're also selling the character boosts, and I'm trying to remember how much they sell them for, but I think $40. Anyway, so you get that, so you can boost one character to level 58. So if you want to start a new playthrough of a character, you can boost it to level 58. For some reason, they're not letting you do that with Draenei and Blood Elves. Seems like they'll probably open that up later to make more money as people want to play Draenei Shaman, because in BC, the only way to play a Shaman was to play a Draenei Shaman. The only way to play a Paladin on Horde was to play a Blood Elf Paladin. So you had to do that sort of thing. So they're making you do the leveling, but they're giving you an extra 2 weeks. So anyway, you got modern WoW stuff. The other thing is there's going to be a looking for group tool, which is something that was Burning Crusade, late Burning Crusade. That was like Isle of Kel'Donis. They were, or maybe a little bit before, they released the looking for group interface. It's not the same as the auto queue system that came in at the end of Wrath, but you should pay attention if you're interested in progression, because you're probably going to get that auto queue for Wrath of the Lich King when they do Classic Wrath of the Lich King. When Wrath of the Lich King, they open that up, you're going to get the dungeon auto queue system is going to come with it. And I think that was actually one of the worst things they added in the game. But this looking for group tool, it's more like the custom group interface in Modern WoW, which is you can find people that want to find a group, send them a message, invite them to your group, go summon them to a summoning stone, and then go do the dungeon. So it's a little more convenient than what we used to do, which is fly to Shattrath, type into general or type into one of the trade chats looking for group. That's the way that you did it back in vanilla and up through the beginning of Burning Crusade. So one of the things about Burning Crusade, if you played it originally, you have to remember is that the experience of Burning Crusade was not the same for the entire expansion. When Burning Crusade dropped, it was the best thing ever in WoW. People loved it, and it was so exciting to go through the Dark Portal. It was so fun. The content was it was better than the original content in almost every way. So if you're wondering, hey, what's the content of TBC like compared to Classic? Well, they took the groundwork of Classic for the content and pretty much improved it in every way you can imagine. The raid encounters were better and tuned better. Now, they did reduce the raid size to 25, and in some ways that improved the flow of raids because it was easier to get a raid team together. We were excited about that because Classic had this big corporate raiding structure. You had to have a big guild to run a raid. Now you didn't have to have quite as big a guild. Still had to have a big guild, but not quite as big a guild to run a 25-man team. Actually, that was I will say Burning Crusade was the seeds of death for many aspects of the game, of the quality of the game. So the entirety of Classic was better, in my opinion, as an entire game for many reasons that probably don't have time to get into here. But as far as the in-game content, which is where most people are going to spend their time after Classic anyway. So Classic was a lot about the leveling experience in the entire game. At a certain point, everybody's reaching the level cap and is ready to do more in-game. That's where Burning Crusade is the best. They had more in-game content than any expansion since. More raids, more dungeons, Heroic dungeons were added, so all the dungeons were relevant at level 70. The raids, because they added in Badges of Justice, they were relevant. They were pretty much all relevant all the way through the entire expansion. Plus, you had people wanting to get various pieces of gear out of even tier 5 dungeons. Those kind of went by the wayside. So people were doing lots of Kara, getting badges to get items, and then hopping into Black Temple. So tier 5 kind of got pushed to the side, but my guild still did tier 5 stuff even after we had killed Illidan. So just, I don't know, put that in perspective there. So it had the best in-game arrangement as a whole. Now, the individual encounters might be crazier now, especially in like mythic raids or whatever. But as far as the arrangement of all the content, the entire, the meta level of the content, it was really, really good. But because you have Modern WoW, expect the devs to approach it the way Modern WoW devs do, which is they said that the content's going to be pre-nerf, which is very difficult because no one could really kill KT or Vaj pre-nerf. So it's going to be pre-nerf, which means it's going to be harder, but they may nerf it. You never know. And with the looking for group tool, they're like, we're going to improve it. Well, you don't know what that means. You could end up with another auto queue system that just destroys any kind of social nature of the game. You know that they already do sharding because they did that with their version of Classic, which is basically, you're going to go on to Hellfire Peninsula, and when we did it back in the day, it was super crowded and crashed. Well, you don't want that. So they make a bunch of little copied instances. So, Mike, where are you? I'm doing this quest. Well, so am I. Why don't I see you? Oh, because we're actually on different servers. That was very different from how it was in the original game. In the original game, everybody was kind of shoved together, especially early on. You had to group up. You had to make friends. You had to make friends to do dungeons like Hellfire Citadel and all those different fun dungeons in Hellfire Peninsula. So that stuff is going to be reduced. Again, like the modern Blizzard doesn't understand the meta of the game. They just don't. Like, they don't understand why people liked the game back in the past because they didn't really think about how the design decisions created an emergent style of gameplay, created a meta level of gameplay. They're entirely focused on, like, really good raids, and then everything else is just helter-skelter and garbage, and they wonder why people quit the game. They quit the game because the core arrangement of the game is bad compared to how it was back then. At the same time, Burning Crusade, you saw death of a lot of things that made Classic really fun. First of all, if you're going to level a character in Burning Crusade from 0 on up, PvP starts to become, World PvP becomes not what it was. World PvP was amazing in Classic, and in Burning Crusade, basically it was dead, and it was both annoying and not present, if that's possible. So, because you had mounts that if you had a 280% speed mount, you could just fly away. You could fly away from encounters. It was really easy to get away if you could, like, res real quick, mount up, and fly away. So you could get away from World PvP really easy. At the same time, if you left yourself, you could go like AFK on your flying mount and be like, mobs can't get me. A mage could come up and like AP pump pyro you and like slow fall down and kill you in the air, and then you'd have to take durability, which was annoying. I don't know if they'll even leave that in the game, but like there was all kinds of little things like that. So it became annoying and not present. All the high level characters ended up in Outland. They're never coming back to Azeroth, so if you're leveling from 1, you just don't really see the high-level characters anymore. It's just a very different dynamic. It's probably still be fun to level and do World PvP in general. In general, the leveling experience is pretty close to Classic, and it's a fun leveling experience still. It's not nearly just the face roll experience it is now. So Burning Crusade content was, if you want it's like Classic gameplay, but more refined. Every spec is pretty much viable. Every class is viable. In fact, there's lots of little specs that have a raid place because of all of this crazy utility that all the classes had. So if you want to play Moonkin, every raid's going to want a Moonkin in it because of the Moonkin aura is going to buff all the Warlocks and Mages. Yeah, Moonkins don't do as much damage as a Mage, but they increase all the Mage damage by like 5%. So they're worth bringing. Likewise, you're going to bring a Feral Druid because of that Heart of the Wild buff to buff your rogues, your warriors, your enhancement shamans. You're going to want to bring a shaman for Wind Fury Totem, right? An enhancement shaman for that. You're going to basically almost every spec has a place in a raid with some exceptions. Like you're not going to see really demonology warlocks or frost mages just because they're not set up for raids. Their damage is lower. They're really set up for doing other things, either interacting in the world or doing like PvP. So anyway, that's what you need to know about TBC. I can do more content on like what class should you play, but really, if you're interested in playing any of the more classic focused, all the trees have been improved for Burning Crusade, and really in a lot of ways it was the height of the game. 2007 Gaming Ground Zero is like the best expansion, best micro gameplay of World of Warcraft in my opinion, best macro. You still had tons of resource management. You're running out of mana, you have to keep track of that. Professions were the best that they've ever been in Burning Crusade, the best they've ever been, and they've only gone downhill from there. Professions were fun to do, they were fun to gather for, they gave you great, powerful items if you did crafting, and if you didn't do crafting, you could make a ton of money and buy great items as well. There was a ton of BOE epics to buy. It was just the best, it was the best state of the end game ever. And it was definitely the best state of professions ever. So if you like doing professions, TBC's got you covered. It's got the best professions ever. So yeah, should you play TBC? Those things. You want to play the classic gameplay of TBC with the actual resource management, more skills than classic. Every spec starts to feel like, rather than having every class be its own thing, because that was classic design. Every spec is its own thing. So Feral Druids are very different from Resto Druids. Enhancement Shaman play very different from Resto Shaman. So on down the line. So talents, rather than giving you a different flavor of one class, they really are like a new class, starting in Burning Crusade. And there's a lot of room for almost every spec in a raid. Arms Warriors, maybe not as much, but Arms Warriors were amazing in PvP. I'll just throw that out there. They were awesome. If you want the ultimate twos team, it's Druid Warrior. Druid Warrior was like the best twos team possible. Finishing up on PvP, if I play TBC Classic and my friends want to play it, I'm going to see about rolling a brand new character on a PvE server rather than a PvP server. I've never played on a PvE server. Just never did it. And the reason is because I had an attachment to playing PvP. I had an attachment to this classic PvP experience that was so fun and engaging. But starting with Burning Crusade, PvP was really dead. PvP in the world became dead, and it was replaced by Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds weren't relevant. They were just there you got like belts and bracers out of Battlegrounds. Stupid. So Battlegrounds were not relevant, and what was relevant was arenas, and I don't enjoy those. And I really didn't enjoy them at the time because I played a hunter, and hunters were awful in arenas starting out because arenas were like the small room, and hunters still had this awful dead zone. They just were a very difficult class to play in arenas. And if you happened to be the right class to play in arenas, they could be fun. If you were Druid Warrior or you were like Warlock Priest or something, you could probably do a lot of fun in arenas. Otherwise, I don't know. So I might level a character on a PvE server, a priest like Draenei or Blood Elf, depending on what faction, if my friends want to play, they want to play. Level that up. Easy to find a raid spot as a priest in various different specs. Shadow was really good. You wanted a Shadow Priest in your raid, so because it just charged the mana of the healer. So you put a Shadow Priest in your group with your healers, and it just gave them infinite mana. So probably roll a Draenei Shadow Priest. I played a Night Elf Shadow Priest because of Star Shards. You got this free 0 mana dot, Star Shards, which was just amazing for PvP and stuff. So I really enjoyed PvPing on my Priest, but not so much early on in the game. So what you get with Burning Crusade is kind of where the game was towards the end, but the content that you had at the beginning. So all of the playing balance changes, those are already in effect. The classes are pretty balanced, and you're going to have supremacy of like Druid Warrior in twos for sure, and then you're going to get the content. And I think it's good that they're going to have pre-nerf because it'll be easier with all the little talent changes that go along. All right, let me take a look at chat. That's my thing on Burning Crusade. So hopefully that's some information for you guys. Let's see here. Your talk last week about hedonism doesn't lead to happiness was useful in a section of my story when a character argues something similar and incorporated it in the story. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, hedonism doesn't lead to happiness. If you have nothing but pleasure, the pleasure has no context, right? And, if you go out and you work all day and you're hot and sweaty and you come home and drink a cold Coca-Cola. Hot damn, that cold Coca-Cola feels great. if you're just chilling out in an air-conditioned house, cold Coke doesn't really do much for you. You know, I have like a dry throat right now. I'm like, oh man, it's so good. If you spend all your time seeking pleasure, the pleasure is an empty experience. I'm kind of eager to see how they massacre it. Store mounts are a good start. Yeah. I mean, they're not going overboard. A lot of people don't remember that, like, all the really bad stuff started in Wrath of the Lich King. So auto-queuing dungeon groups, auto-queuing heroic dungeon groups, that was only possible because the heroics were so easy. Heroics were actually challenging in Burning Crusade. So if you played Mythic dungeons, heroics are on the level of Mythic, if not a little bit harder depending on the dungeon. Like heroic Arcatraz is a very difficult dungeon. So yeah, but it's going to be, you got to, if you're jumping into it, you know that it's being run by Modern Blizzard. They're not going to trust the design of the past. Jagex has handled the same concept so much better with old school RuneScape. That's what I hear, but I never played RuneScape. Oh, Mass Effect Legendary has been fun to give me a reason to play the series again. I wouldn't buy the Legendary Edition because it looks like a downgrade in every single way possible. But go Shadow. What am I doing? If you want to go Shadow, like Shadow Priest, or Shadow Play, maybe that's meant by Shadow P. Shadow Play was Shadow Priest Warlock, pretty good twos team, but not as good as Druid Warrior. Druid Warrior was good for this reason, is that you would put on, you'd use this, there was this mace that you could craft that had a stun proc, and then you'd get Mace Spec, which had a stun proc. Your Druid would come out, you would never go tree, and you would Cyclone their healer, then and you just spam Cyclone on him, and then the Warrior would just chain stun and kill whoever was left, and then you could just clean up. So, like, twos were very unbalanced, and once people figured out the Druid Warrior combo, it was like, it was so hard to play anything besides that. You could play Druid Warlock and do pretty good, but Druid Warrior was so good. Basically, no one could do anything with you. You could do Druid Rogue was pretty good because you'd start off in stealth and then you could pop out of stealth, stun lock the healer, and crowd control the other guy. Just kill the healer, and then like it's free reign. You can vanish. You can use all your cooldowns. It's like twos were massacre with certain class combinations. But the game wasn't designed around balancing like 2v2. It was designed around 40v40, you know. Anyway, the problem is a bunch of nobodies are inheriting greatness and they don't have the same mindset, which made it great. That's why modern series feel like they suck. The OGs are gone. That's true. I agree. You know, so that's what you know. That's what you're going to get with that. So I might play. I might not play. We'll kind of see how it goes. I have so much stuff planned. It's hard for me to want to play. My approach, I've decided if I'm going to play, I'm going to level a new character on a PvE server. I'm not going to engage with PvP at all. That's just not going to be a part of the game that I'm going to engage with. And if I want to, I can do the part that people really are into, which is arenas. Like I could arena on a priest if I wanted to, and it'd be okay. You know, do like a threes team or something. But I probably won't. And instead just focus on, you know, raid logging, which is very manageable as far as time goes, even in Burning Crusade. So you do Karazhan once a week, and then you're doing the tier 4 stuff once a week, and then you're doing tier 4 and tier 5 stuff once a week, or twice a week, and then it just goes from there. So if you're in a good raid team and things are consistent, you know, it's not that hard to raid, even in Burning Crusade with all of those different raids. How many raids were there? There was Karazhan, 10-man that you started with. There was Gruul's Lair, 2 boss. Magtheridon's Lair, 1 boss. So that was your tier 4, was those 3 different raids. Tier 5 was split up into 2 raids. You had SCC, Serpentrine Caverns, and then you had Tempest Keep the Eye, ending with killing Kel Foss, like the leader of the Blood Elves. Very, extremely difficult fight. Harder than Illidan. My guild didn't kill KT. I mean, it took so long. It was just like, Illidan was so easy by comparison. The tier 6 stuff was much easier than tier 5, by the way. So then you had Mount Hyjal, which was a very easy instance, actually. And Black Temple, which was it was hard, but there was a lot of easy stuff too. So now we're at like 7 raids. Then they added Zulaman, a Tin Man, which is an amazing Tin Man that had great relevant gear and gave you badges and gave you a bear mount. I got the bear mount from doing it quickly. If you did it in a certain amount of time, you could get this bear mount. So we all farmed out this bear mount. Then there was Sunwell. So you had 9 raids. 9. Not including all the world bosses and stuff. So you had 9 raids. There's been no expansion that's had 9 raids. You had 9 raids, and the dungeons, you had like 15 dungeons. No expansion since has had the sheer amount of content that's had. It's insane. It's insane how much value they gave. Have your short-term plans for the channel changed? Really enjoyed the ones who wafa analysis. Oh, the ones who walk away. Yeah, more videos like that down the pipeline. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll just explain short-term things. I really gotta get a lot of books polished up and ready to go by July. So I'm not doing as many streams. I'm just going to do Saturday streams for the next month or so. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do more mini content. So like 3 to 5 minute videos about topical stuff that's just fun stuff to talk about. I'm going to be doing that. And then, analysis stuff will happen when on Saturdays when I have time to record. So today I'm a little bit short on time. I might do some tomorrow just as I have time to do like anime analysis and, stories and stuff like that. If there's a short story especially you want an analysis for, like for your English class, if you want me to weigh in so you can write an English paper, let me know about the story and I can read it real quick and give a quick analysis of it. It would be really cool to start a guild with all the Twitter friends. Yeah, maybe we could do that. If people are interested in that, I will try to find a server and I'll set that up. And anyone who wants to come can come. Otherwise, I'll join a raiding guild. And we'll figure it out that way. I don't know. I'm not into like managing an entire guild because it's a pain. But it started to be a lot less of a pain in Burning Crusade. So you got that as well. All right, let's play some Final Fantasy. We talked enough. I spent almost 30 minutes talking about World of Warcraft. This is a Final Fantasy stream. And I probably wouldn't want to stream... I probably wouldn't want to stream WoW too much because to me that's something that's fun for me, not really something that I do. I think I have a save state here. I think I did a save state. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So we already talked to the king. He told an asteroid crashed into the ground, and then we're going to go. We're basically going to go do that. Now, before I do that, I'm actually going to go and get an item out of this tower. This tower is not an easy place to do. Oh, there's a secret right here. You don't want to go in the basement yet because that's full of monsters that'll kill you. I'm trying to remember. Is this it? No. Okay. That's not where we want to go. I want to go here. I already let the guy out of jail. I think he comes back later. Alright, here's the door out. Boop, 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 boop. So those who benefit from Omelas being punished would be a viable option. Would that not justify some terrorism in the U.S.? Well, from their perspective, yeah. But, maybe the terrorists obviously do it because they think that they should do it. But it's not quite the same as, like, that situation. Now, this guy has a mithril sword that's really good. There we go. We got it. Okay. On your screen, you're not going to quite see everything because the screen's displaying at 30 FPS and the game is actually 60 FPS. So because of the frame differences, things are not going to look quite right. I'll just put it that way. So that mithril sword will make our warrior, like, really powerful. I have a fear of being accused of ripping off other fantasy properties. I want to have pig orcs, but I'm worried people will think I'm stealing D&D orcs. Is that a legitimate concern? No. Honestly, no. Especially, like, in the 80s, there was so much rip-off fiction I just wouldn't even worry about it. I just wouldn't worry about it at all. Half the people aren't going to even know what you're referring to, or they're just going to think, oh, it's just an orc, you know. Orcs were pig orcs. You know, moblins, who cares? People will notice if you rip off something like really specific. It's like, oh, this person has a ring of power they have to destroy. That's ripping off Lord of the Rings. We can leave now because we got the sword. That's all we needed out of there. This thing is like way powerful for this level. Look at all that attack. All right, that makes our warrior super strong. Now we get to go up to the tower. I think I'm gonna stop by. Yeah, we can go down that way. I think I'm gonna stop by town and like fill up on some, you know, some items. And then we will keep moving here. A meteor fell up north near Walt's Tower, so that's where we're going. George Lucas turned 77 yesterday. Wow. Oops. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like, especially the little set pieces. Like, oh, this has orcs. Whatever, it's a monster race. You could call them, if you're really worried about it, just call it anything else. Don't call it an orc. I called mine orcs because I was like, they're orcs, and like, most readers are just gonna know that's like an orc. Like, in Malazan Book of the Fallen, it's like you have these different kinds of, they're basically dark elves and like light elves. The Tiste. You know what they are. They're like, he describes them, it's like, well, that's an elf. Yeah, but they're like from these realms of elves. They're elves. But they're called like Tistiandi, Tistiliosan, Tiste, Idur. You know, the shadow elves. Boy, I got some bad allergies today. My nose is itchy. Yeah, so here's the, going back to Omelas, like, are you justified in destroying the town? Yes, if you view it as wrong to benefit and you can't stand it, then it's wrong for other people to benefit as well. And so you're within rights to stop them from having that benefit. And even if they suffer from it, oh well. They should have stopped the child. They shouldn't be doing it. So yeah, something, if you find something to be immoral, then it's also immoral for other people to do it. In general, right? Which means, you know, in the real world, we do deal with trade-offs. Like, you could view it as, it's like immoral to view pornography. But you don't make it illegal because, you know, it's frankly more trouble than it's worth to make it illegal. Help yourself. Oh, these are time magics, so these are useful, but we don't have time mage yet, so... And these are summons, we don't have summons yet. So, we can buy a couple of these. You know, so when we get the class, we can, like, make use of it right away. And there's a summon at the top of that tower that I got the Mithril Sword out of, but he'll wreck you at this level of the game, so don't go up there yet. Let me buy some restorative items. Let's see what we got here. Kung Fu suit. You can buy that. Alright. Buy an iron helmet. Iron shield. Yeah, we'll just buy some... Let me just check what armor we have. Sorry for my kind of mucusy condition today. Just go optimum. Let's see. Leather cap. Yeah, this is still bronze. Oh, I have a mithril helmet. Okay, that's good to know. We'll get some iron armor. We'll skip the iron helmet and get the iron armor. The menus are a little laggy with the PlayStation version. I have a cotton robe, I think. Yeah. We'll buy another one for our rogue. And that's it. It's kind of random at that last act in the Sleeping Beauty animation by Disney was some of the best fantasy action animation I've ever seen as a kid. Beauty and the Beast is a beautiful movie. Love the Optimum. It just makes it go so quick here. Now we have a Dirk. And we already have we have the Mithril Sword, which is better, so we don't need these weapons. Yeah, we don't control our wars, though. Like, it's not really up to us. And voting doesn't matter. So most people should have woken up in 2020 to the fact that, like, you can't vote your way out of this because your vote doesn't do anything. What is this guy? He's a little troll guy. You gonna talk to me, little troll guy? No? Alright, little girl, you talk to me. This child's name is Garula. She lives in the woods near the tower. She's shy, so don't pick on her. Okay. That does not look like a little girl to me. That looks like some sort of tusk beast. Oh, you guys tell me. Alright, let's go up to the tower. Oh, wait, no. I want to buy... Is there an item shop somewhere? This guy sells items. All right. Let's buy a couple of tonics. Let's buy 20 of those because we're going to use those a lot. Antidotes. Let's buy 5 of those. Eye drops. Buy like 5 of those. Maiden's Kiss. We'll buy a couple of those just in case. And Cornucopia. Here's Mini. Just in case, buy some of those. Soft. Buy one of those. And Phoenix Down. We have enough of those. Tent. We'll buy one more, just in case. So we can charge up. I agree that games started getting worse around 2007, but I think they're getting better since 2019. Maybe, yeah. I mean, there's still good games. It's just that, like, basically we entered this long period of just repeating what was existing in 2007. Let's fly on our dragon. Find that Tower of Waltz. I think we could fly over the... There we go. Here we go. Let's save our game real quick. That's a good idea. Save. My memory card slot 1. Remember, like, if you broke your memory card, that was like a tragic thing. If you lost the memory card or broke it, oh man, that was awful. Like, all of your progress gone. And especially if you were using like as aftermarket PS2 ones, they would die and then you'd lose everything. Garula went nuts and ran into the tower, and then the king went in after him, followed by a lone warrior. Garula's never attacked anyone before. Here we go. Uh-oh. Forever catching the streams at the end of them. I'm gonna stream for a little while today. Oh, these guys. We already did these guys. Maybe we could steal another sword just in case. Got another one. Kick. Look at that toad, man. That toad has such an ugly face, man. It's so ugly. Yeah, our warrior hitting hard now. It's Ice Soldier. Hey Dave, do you live in a rural area? I do. I do, and have a terrible internet service. Just wondering if you do and how you're able to stream these live streams with little to no connection issues. So I live in a rural area. However, I live in rural California where we have like fiber internet everywhere. So we have fiber internet going, you know, in order for the fiber internet to go to like Sacramento from San Francisco, it passes by my area. I don't have fiber internet, but basically you're on the Comcast backbone. So the Comcast backbone is physically very close to me, which means I have good internet. It's kind of best of both worlds. If you're in rural Wyoming, it's going to be a different story. I don't know if you can steal from a dragon, but let's try. Oh, she's dead. Wow. Let's kill that dragon quick then. Bring back my poor thief. Yeah, so, I mean, there's, God dang it. Yeah, we should, these guys are hitting hard enough that, like, we shouldn't even bother to res them. We may have to, like, go outside and level a bit or something. How are gas prices there? They're expensive, but, I actually bought an electric car recently for my wife to commute in. It's a Hyundai, actually. People are like, oh, people in California drive Hyundais. Yeah. It's actually a Hyundai. It's a gas-electric hybrid, but you could plug it in. So basically, we don't spend any gas. We just spend the electricity. And I have a bunch of gas in store because last year I told you guys, I'm like, go buy gas. So I bought a bunch of gas last year, and I've just kind of been making sure I have extra gas. So if I don't like the gas prices and I think they're going to come down, then I'll just use my extra gas. You know? So that's what's going on there. I think Sleeping Beauty might be aesthetically the best Disney movie. In terms of like the quality of the visuals and the music, it's really good. Why are PS1 classics so PS1 cases so weak and flimsy? I don't know. It was a new thing at the time to have a disk drive. So people really hadn't figured out how to make robust disk drive enclosures. Sega CD was very flimsy as well. You know, and that was really... There were so few systems that used CDs prior to the PlayStation 1. I like Black Cauldron a lot too, but it's not a great story. But yeah, they merged Iran and the Horn King into like one thing. But he's pretty creepy. My son went as him for Halloween one year. I don't know why they made Maleficent movies. That was such a stupid idea. Villains should be villains. Who's this guy? King. Garula's up there. Please save the crystal. I don't know if there's any like little secrets here. We gotta kill this dragon pronto because of his breath. Man, monks are good. This creepy paddle through guy. Sorry. I hate the new Maleficent movies. Yeah, I just hate the idea of them too. Doesn't the gas go bad after like 3 months? Yeah, that's why you use it and then you replace it. It doesn't go bad after 3 months, but you know, you should use it. You should use it. So, you know, if I remember, I'll put the gas in one of my cars and then, you know, switch it out. From a philosophical standpoint, why condemn things like exploding abortion clinics? Are they taking full moral culpability, or are we, the bystanders, and they're truly virtuous? Well, I mean, the thing is like, let's just look at it as a basic power thing. What happens if you blow up an abortion clinic? Well, you get killed, right? It's like a one-man rebellion against the Roman Empire. Good luck with that. I wonder how I get those other things. Oh, wait. I can just get this chest here. Maiden's Kiss. Okay, it's useful. Let's see if I can... There's like a little hidden passage here. It used to be in some of these games you could kind of see where you could go through the walls. This one, I think you might have to fall down from above to get that. I'm not sure. It's a Hyundai something. It was my mother-in-law's car, and so we bought it from the estate because we could get a little bit of a deal on it. And my truck is from 2005. My wife's car is from 2010. So we're driving older cars, and mileage is piling up. I don't want to get rid of my truck because it's very useful, but I don't want to be packing on a lot of miles on it. It's like 200,000 miles. I have a friend who has the same truck, still been driving it, has like 500,000 miles. So I don't want to get rid of that truck. So I'm going to keep that. We have 3 cars. We basically have a commuter car and then 2 cars that are for like kid transport, I guess, and other things. I never thought I'd be in that position, but here we are. We happen to have the cash to be able to buy the Hyundai. So anyway, that's what we did there. Morgoth's review talk happening someday? What is Morgoth's review? I don't know what that is. Forgot to use a tent. Tent. There we go. I watched Invincible recently. It's good and surprisingly low on woke. I kind of want to watch it because of the ultra violence. That's the main reason. Yeah, I might try it. I just want to see, I want to see evil Superman crush people's heads. Now, people who are like really into superhero stuff are like, I don't want to see another superhero subversion. I'm like, I don't care about that. I want to see cool stuff. Superheroes are ancient and I don't care about them at all. So for me, it's perfectly okay to watch something like Invincible or The Boys. I'm just not really interested in The Boys. On we go. Dragons! Saw the Sonic movie. It was actually good and non-cynical. Ah, that stupid wind breath thing. Wyvern instead of Wyvern. That's funny. Wyvern. That's really funny, actually. The Wyvern instead of the Wyvern. Alright, got some levels here. Cruella de Vil's name is literally Cruel Devil. Why is there an origin story for her? She wants to turn dogs into coats. I don't understand. That this it's because they're creatively bankrupt and they cannot think of anything which is not anything which is actually original or interesting. That's just the simplest explanation. You have suits who are like, what's the lowest risk thing we can do? And then you have they employ nepotistically bad writers who don't know what the hell they're doing. And so the best thing they can come up with is like, what if we like saw it from Cruella de Vil's side? Surely there's a reason she's a horrible person, right? I know how to get that chest now. I didn't realize you could climb these vines. I have not watched The Boys, and I have no plans on watching it. No offense. Silver armband. I feel like Ferris needs it. Alright. What if I can, like... Can't go up these. I didn't think to climb the vines earlier in the level. Wyverns are being from classic Greek lore. So are werewolves. Werewolves are Greek too. Crazy, huh? Lycanthrope is Greek word. People who turn into wolves. And there might have been like a wolf celebrating festival too. Weird. I did a whole video on that. Werewolves. Something's controlling it. I'm not going to let you break that crystal. Oh no! Get ready. I'm ready, my friend. Let's see if we wipe. That might be an interesting end to the stream. Wipe. Look at this guy. Couldn't steal. So stealing failed. There might still be something to steal. We'll use tonic. There we go. Yeah, he hits hard now. Just a tonic. I always like want to steal from the bosses because a lot of times they have really good stuff, you know. Boy, he hits the warrior for nothing. Nothing to steal. Okay, all he had was a tonic. That was weak. I also bought a used 3DS this week from your recommendation quite a while back. Good. It's a great system. You can do so much with it, especially when you hack it. There's really just like a huge world. Same thing with the Vita. Like I'm playing this on the PlayStation Vita and video output. You can actually do video output to your computer from a 3DS. I just haven't really figured that out yet. Haven't gone through and installed the software you need to install. You can soft mod it to do that. So that's an interesting. I could play Dragon Quest, all the Dragon Quest games on the 3DS. You could stream those. Yeah, my 3DS is that's like the Dragon Quest platform. Like you get just great versions of, even up through Dragon Quest 11. There's actually a 3DS version of Dragon Quest 11. It's just Japanese only. So you'll have to read Japanese. But it's a unique version. Kind of crazy that they did that they developed the 3DS version of it. The crystal! Oh, it broke! No! Too late. Yeah, you gotta hack the 3DS. You can do so much with it. And get a really big card, and you can rip all your cartridges to your card and just not have to worry. I've lost several games because of my son, like either losing them in the couch or like dropping them in the car or something. So I'm not going through that anymore. I'm gonna rip all my carts to the SD card and just run them like that. Oh, Lord Galoof. You know me. Lord Galoof, forgive me. Couldn't save Crystal. Tell me, who am I? Must save Fire Crystal. What are your thoughts on ground turkey in terms of nutrition? It's great. I eat it often. You can make great taco meat out of it. That's a very good nutrition profile. Much better nutrition profile than beef because it's lower in calories and higher in protein, therefore. Or you can mix it. So what we would do, have 2/3 ground turkey, 1/3 ground beef, and then the tacos taste exactly like ground beef tacos once you put all the seasoning on them. And there's just enough fat that they taste really good, but it's not like a really super high calorie meal. So that's something else you can do is mix beef and turkey together. It tastes really good. It just basically turns the beef from, let's say you have like 80% lean beef, it turns into like 98% lean beef. Varys, the crystals, they're glowing. Maybe we'll receive their power. The spirit of these brave warriors rests in these shards. Berserker! The spirit of these brave warriors rests in these shards. Time Mage! I think we'll get, what do we get next? Sorcerer! Summoner! Or there's one up here. Oh, I can't get that one. Red Mage. Couldn't get that shard up there, though. Now what? The tower's sinking! Oh, so much for the loot I didn't get. Oh well. Thoughts on Amazon adapting non-legacy comics? I don't know what you mean by non-legacy comics. So, I don't know. I don't trust Amazon to adapt anything well, though. They're gonna hire the same, like, bad woke writers that everyone else hires to do bad adaptations of things. Oh my. We're in the water. Ugh! It's Hydra! Fierce. Hydra! Yay! We're gonna be... Oh no, it's eating us. Hydra, you're alive! He's gonna barf us back out, though. Oh, I have no confidence in the Lord of the Rings. I'll probably talk about it because it's like a marketing opportunity since I sell fantasy books. You can now get Water of Awakening in hardback. Beautiful. Fully bound hardback. Hydra! Yeah, but I'll look at it as a marketing opportunity. I don't think I'll enjoy watching it. And in the time that you'd spend watching it, you could just read the Silmarillion, and it's better. It's gonna be better. You know it is. The book is always better. Book is always better. Hydra gave his last ounce of strength to help us. Hydra, you can't die. No. Hydra, thank you. Hydra. How good is a gazelle exercise machine for burning fat? No idea. You don't burn fat. You use calories. So, is it good for burning calories? I don't know. If you're going to do cardio exercise, what you got to do is get your heart rate up and keep it there for 30 minutes. If your heart rate's in, say, 110 to 150, 160, you're probably in a good range, and you're probably doing good work. If it does not get your heart rate that high, it's probably not providing a lot of exercise. I will tell you the cheapest and probably best cardio is to just go running. The best actually might be swimming, but, you know, that's not the cheapest because you have to have access to a pool. Let's save our game here. What time is it? Oh, it's 2 o'clock. Let's see how this resolves, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, it's not that it's better or worse for burning fat. It's just, you know, will it provide enough resistance to get a good cardio workout? If yes, then it's good. You know, then it's good. It's all about how much energy you burn off. You know, your body will use your fat stores when you're in a calorie deficit. So cardio will help you be in a calorie deficit. Those soldiers crawled out of that meteor. They were all babbling about a warp or something. The wounded soldier from Karnak are resting in the barracks. Don't know if you've seen it, but you should watch the anime Vatican Examiners. It's about priests from the Catholic Church investigating miracles to see if they're real acts of God. Interesting. Never thought I'd live to see the water crystal shattered. They say there's a great treasure in the dungeons below. Where's the king? Oh, the king's not here? Or maybe he's resting. The king was mauled by Garula, but now he's resting in his chambers. Okay, great. His chambers are over here. Please do as the king requests. All right. I should have listened to you. King Walt, are you all right? Hurry to Karnak. They also use a machine to amplify their crystal's power. A meteorite also fell there. Hurry, before it's too late. Princess Reina, will you return to Tycoon? They must be worried about you. Yeah, maybe we should. Alright, we have access to new jobs, though, too. So we can always check our jobs. It's a knight level 2. Berserker. Always berserk in battle, so you don't even have to control them. Sorcerer, so using mages, white mage, blue mage, time mage. I think we're going to skip with what we have for right now because we want to get those job levels a little higher. I don't know if we want to do those, try the optional dungeons. They're pretty hard right now. So, the man who owns the Conan rights is interesting and refuses to let anyone mess with it, which is why Amazon pulled the plug on its series a few years ago. Maybe Netflix will cancel too. It's weird that there's a holding company that owns the trademark for Conan, considering like the stories are basically in public domain. I think it's really just about grabbing cash and like manipulating how that is. Like newer Conan stuff is really not good, like on the Marvel side. So I don't really believe that they don't want to mess with it. I think it's just about grabbing money. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream here. We've done a good hour, and we'll pick it up maybe during the week. We'll see. But I want to record some more content for the week, and I'll probably have more mini content on whatever's going on. So thanks so much for joining me today and making today a little bit of fun. I certainly had fun doing that little dungeon. So I don't know. Anyway, that's what I have planned for the channel the next 6 weeks. Is a little bit less on the live streaming side, a little bit more on mini content, and then getting books prepped for the Amazon Vela thing on July, and then let's turn this off. Amazon Vela in July, and then I want to put out number 3 in this series, number 2 in the Crown of Sight series, what I call Eternal Dreams Legends. That'll come out. That book's already done. I just have to do the editing work to like really make it good, because I just was doing it, and I don't know, I was writing it amidst a bunch of other things going on, and then I didn't want to release it because of the election stuff, so I didn't. And so I'm going to release it this year instead. And what else do I have going on? Some other stuff. I'll probably put all the Gen Y stuff together in one big thing. I'll do the audiobook of the new one. You can read it right now if you want to read it instead of listening to an audiobook. I'll link it right here, and so you can read it if you want to. Anything that keeps you moving while your body is forcing itself to mobilize fat for energy is beneficial. There you go. Yeah, City of Silver next book. That one I'm working on too. I haven't had the blocks of time I need to actually redo all the edits and rewrites for that one because it's pretty extensive compared to what I originally wrote years ago. So I've just been doing what I could in like 30-minute chunks because my schedule's been so impacted lately. And that's been doing the Gen Y stuff, finishing up. Plus the Gen Y stuff's really hot right now. I don't know why, but it is. Finishing up some other stuff and getting ready for July. And then, so the third City of Silver book will come out this year too. Like I said, it's already done. It's a more intensive editing phase than what I usually like to do because it's one of my early books. And so it's rough. It's just not very good. And so I got to make it good. Got to make it better for the readers. And that's what matters. Conan rights owner has done interviews with Midnight's Edge. He's a huge Conan fan who gets the character. Unfortunately, he doesn't also own Red Sonja, so they're free to ruin it. Well, I mean, he also licensed it to Marvel, and they basically ruined the character too. So, yeah. I don't think anyone should own the rights to Conan at this point. It should be public domain character. But trademark capture is a really interesting thing. And no one's bothered to challenge him in court about that. Technically, you can use the Conan character, but you can't call it Conan on your comic. So somebody came out with one that was just called the Cimmerian. It's a Conan comic, and it exists. You know, I haven't read it, so I can't say if it's good or bad. But the art looks good, and it's actually adaptations of Robert E. Howard's stories from back in the day. So you can check that out. But they couldn't call it Conan, or they get sued because this guy owns the trademark. Come on now. Yeah, anyway, take it easy, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Oh, is there things you sort of wish you could change about your previous works? If I wanted to change them, I would. The benefits of a book is that when it's done, you can say it's done. Now, I've gone back and there's a couple typos here, or there's an inconsistency, like the character has two different colored eyes. They were green at one point and blue at another. Fixing those things, but no, I don't go back and I don't spend a lot of time thinking, like, maybe I should have done it this way. No, I just do that for the next book. I just don't worry about that at all. So no. But I could change them if I wanted to. If I wanted to take them down and completely rewrite them, I could do that. I own them. I'm free to do that. So, but one of the things about the books is that it releases me from any mental burden to even think about that. By the time you put the book out, the book is what the book is, and I don't really have to think about doing things differently. I don't have to have any regrets. So, anyway, guys, thanks so much, and I will see you all next time. I haven't seen Razorfist's video in public domain. I've talked to him about it, though. I'm generally against... So the flip side of that, of the public domain thing, is really just that you end up with mega corporations controlling IPs that they don't treat it good either, So anyway, I'm okay with things entering the public domain after a certain amount of time, like after the death of the owner, for instance. Anyway, take it easy, guys. I'll see you later.